Hey everybody, welcome back to Darvanalee Design Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed and today we are here for another Advent opening, day 14, and a little bit of crafting. I was going to do a stitch with me, but I decided I'm going to do some crafting instead. So you'll see that video in just a moment. We'll switch over to that. But we are here for day 14. We have a book, a diamond painting and a mystery one. We will start with our mystery Advent today. So hopefully everybody is well and enjoying their time of crafting and getting ready for Christmas to spend with our loved ones. We've only got 10 days left. I know, I can hear you all going, oh no, 10 days left, is that all? Alright, so we've got day 14 and we're wrapped up and, oh, looks like we've got some napkins today. Oh, these are nice napkins actually. These are pretty cool. I like these. Now, years and years ago, I actually have done some stuff with napkins before. We made coasters and stuff like that, and yeah, we separated them, and yeah, we did. I don't remember the whole process or what it was called because it was years ago, but I have done some napkin stuff, and Nerolee's actually done some napkin art as well. She's actually gone out and we've like gone looking for the particular types of napkins, and you can probably see on this one it's got like little squares embossed into it, and basically you can see it a bit better on the back, and basically she sits down and she uses her watercolors and crayons and all that sort of stuff and does coloring in, and then we laminate it and turn it into like a little coaster and stuff like that. So that's what she does with it. So these are pretty cool though. I like the rooster ones. And before anybody says, no, they're not used, these are all really cool. I like them. They're very, like, I don't even know how to describe it. This one's got some marks on it, but it's still got some nice flowers that you'd be able to use. So that's a little bit different. I like this one. This one's probably my favorite out of all of them. That would make a nice, like you could transfer it onto like a piece of wood, and you could put Mod Podge and stuff like that. You can hang it up, turn it into a picture and hang it up on your wall. Alright, so that is our mystery one. It has been very interesting indeed. We've had a little bit of a chuckle along the way, raised some eyebrows as well, but we are getting right into that now. It is quite different, but you know, hey, different is good sometimes. All right, so we'll move on to our book now. So as I said, day 14. Yeah, we've been having a lot of good books come through. There's only been one that I haven't been sure about, but you never know, it could end up being a really good book. All right, looking back at 40 years of stories, where did they all come from? The Keller Reader by Garrison Keller. One of the great voices of our time, New York bestsellers book review. All right, let me just get rid of this rubbish and we'll have a closer look. That didn't go in the bin at all. So it's by Penguin Books. After 40 years, Mr. Keller pauses to look back. In one volume, is this fiction? Literature and poetry. All right, so looks like a collection of short stories just by looking at that. In one volume, the first selection of his work, including pontoon and truck stop stories from a prairie home companion, the Alaska adventures of professional wrestler Jimmy Big Boy Valenti, a revision of Casey at the Bat, an imaginative memoir of life of New Yorker, and set of precepts. What have we learned so far? Along with a new essay, Cheerfulness, in honor of his parents, and head notes and an introduction. Alright, so okay, so some of the things is a praise for Garrison Keller and the Keller, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I could be completely wrong, as we all know that I am not great with language. I can read, but I obviously can't speak. He's clearly a genius, arranged, his stamina alone incredible. He's a masterful storyteller. It's got a lot of reviews on here that seem to be really good. It's from Penguin Books, as I stated, and it was published in 2014. So what it looks like is like a series of short stories. That's cool, because I need some short stories, because some of my prompts for next year are for short stories, so this will be good. And I've never even heard of this person before, so it'll be interesting. I guess maybe as I start reading it, I'll probably go, oh yeah, I have. But you know, when you look at a name and you've read a lot of books in your life, the authors tend to get a little bit And guess what? It's a floppy paperback. I love a floppy paperback. Yes! Alright, so that is book 14. Oh, I didn't say how many pages were in it, did I? Sorry. 354. Alright, let's move on to our diamond painting one. We are up to day 14. Ooh, it's a medium one today. Alright. Oh, I bet it's a little diamond painting kit. It sounds like it. Can you hear that? It sounds like drills in there. Oh, this is sweet. These are so cute. Oh, I'm going to send these down to Mia. She will love doing these. And she can turn them into little, I'll send some cardstock down so she can put them on some cardstock. And she can put them on the Christmas tree. Oh, that's wonderful. Because I was gonna send her down the actual ornament ones that we've had here, but I really want to do them with her, so I'll wait till she comes for a visit and she can have these at Christmas time. That's wonderful. Oh, that's awesome. Just a couple of little ones. Nothing that she'll lose her, you know, she won't get sidetracked or anything like that. So that's a good little one to send down to her. They're very cute. But as I said, I'll put them, what I might do is actually cut them out and put them onto some cardstock and then send them down to her. I'll have to do that today because her present's going down tomorrow. Now I can't get it back in. What's the way you pull it out and then you can't get it back in? Oh, dear me. Alright, let me try this again. Oh, you could use them as stickers. I think they're actually a sticker. Just looking at the back of that paper, I didn't look at the back of it. So I'll be able just to stick them onto cardstock and cut them out. That'll be super quick. I won't have to glue them. Won't have to wait for them to dry. Alright, so that is day 14. Alright, so as I said at the beginning of the video, I have decided today that we are still going to talk about the books, but I'm going to be crafting in the background while we're doing it. So today's video is I'm trying my hand at card making. First time ever. I mean, I've made, you know, really dodgy ones when I was a kid and all the rest of it, but actually making cards. So I'm going to flick over to the voiceover and the other video of me crafting. The book I read this week, well, I actually haven't read a great deal of books this week. Unfortunately, I've been, well, is it unfortunate? Or is it fortunate? I'm going to go with fortunate. Fortunately, I have been super busy making bags, finishing off stuff for people for Christmas and all that sort of stuff. So I've only really got 1 and a bit books read this week. So as you know, I'm reading, what is it? Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm still reading that very slowly. I've been quite tired and just flopping into bed. But I have managed to read The Night Circus while I've been working. And then I got sucked right into it, so I was finishing the day off with some reading as well, and a couple of days there I started to read it in the morning as well. So I took about a little bit longer than I normally would for this sort of for the books and all the rest of it. I actually took about 4 days to read this, 4 or 5 days. It was sitting in my reading what I was currently reading for quite some time, because I knew I wanted to read it before the end of the year, because it is actually on my 21 in 21, and I've almost read the 21 books that I really wanted to read this year. So The Night Circus is by Erin Morgenstern, and I gave it 4 stars. It's got 486 pages. It was published back in 2012, so it's almost 10 years old. I would say it falls into the genre of fantasy, but I would say young adult fantasy. I read both physical and listened to the audio, and it was narrated by Jim Dale. Now, I have not listened to anything by Jim Dale before. It was the first time, and I found his voice very captivating. Kept me wanting to keep listening, whereas some male voices I really struggle to listen to. I prefer a female voice reading as opposed to a male. But no, I didn't mind listening to Jim Dale. Like, it's not, I listen to books that are read by males, but if I have a preference, I prefer to listen to a female voice. A little less harsh. They tend to be a little bit more charismatic when they're reading as well. So, yeah, and it sometimes depends on the reader as well. The setting for this book is the UK and the USA, and it is back in the 1800s through to the early 1900s. So even though I have given this book 4 stars. Mainly because of the writing and mainly because it kept me captivated and enthralled by where it was going. But I wasn't real sure about the book when I first started. So when I'm reading a book, I'll jot down. I can't annotate a book. I don't like drawing in books. It makes my blood curdle, so to speak. It's almost like someone running their nails down the blackboard feeling that I get from writing in a book. I don't know why, maybe because of the way I was disciplined when I was younger. We weren't ever to writing books and all the rest of it. So when I'm watching Booktube and stuff like that, seeing people writing in books and annotating books and putting sticker notes in it and all the rest of it near on kills me every time I see it. So I have a book that most of you who have been here for a while know that I just drop my notes down into my book. And so I sort of write my feelings as I'm going, and sometimes I will leave it till right to the end because I'm so engrossed in the book. This book I was engrossed in, but I felt like I had to write down how I was feeling as I was going. So I think that's what made me take a little bit longer to read this one. So I wasn't real sure about this book. And I don't know how to explain it, except, when you're reading something and you think that you might be reading a news story or something like that, and you think, hang on a minute, I've missed a key point of the story here. That's how I felt for the first couple of chapters. But I think in the end, after fully reading the book, I felt that's exactly what the author wanted you to feel. She wanted you to feel that way. I don't know whether that is right or wrong. This is just how I felt and my conclusions that I've come to. And I feel like that's what she wanted to do, that the plot lines were so... I don't know the right word to say. They were loose, I guess you would say. They weren't set in concrete. You know how when you read a book, you just know what the plot line's going to be, the storyline is, and all the rest. It's all nice and neat and tidy and in a bow. This was not neat and tidy in a bow for me. So and as I said, as I kept reading, and normally I would just put that book down. If I wasn't getting it or I felt like I'd missed something, I'd probably give it maybe another 10 pages to see if they tie it all up or bring something in and all the rest of it. But I kept persevering with this one. And so basically the book... is written really well. I love how the author has written it. She just takes you on this journey and you're able to visualize as the book went on. You're able to visualize exactly what was happening and you could bring the story alive in your head. And that was both true of audio and reading the book. I didn't lose the pictures that I had in my head and all the rest of it. I know I sound like a crazy lady, but that's how I read books. I also visualize them as well. And then if I watch a movie or something that was a book, it never matches up to with my imagination. I have so much more going on in the book than what the author intended because my imagination runs wild, I guess. So basically the premise of the book is we're following the story of Celia and Marco. They are the main characters, and their story starts with a wager between two gentlemen. One is Celia's dad, so that is his name is Hector Bowen, and his stage name is Prospero the Enchanter. And then there's Alexandra, and he's referred to throughout the book the man in the grey suit. So basically the daughter, Celia is the daughter of Hector Bowen, and Marco is Alexander, the man in the grey suit, his student. And so they make a bet with one another when they were very young. Celia has a natural aptitude for magic, so I will say it is about magic. She is a natural at magic, whereas Marco has to learn. And so Alexander teaches Marco, whereas Celia has a natural ability, so her father nurtures that and all the rest of it. And so this all happened, I think she was 6 when the bet was made, and he was 14, I think. Maybe a bit younger. I'm not sure of the age. I think there was about 6 years between, so it was 12 or 14 anyway. So the men make a bet for their own entertainment, really, and the two main characters are pitted against each other, but neither one of them know who their opponent is, and they don't even really know the rules of the game. And and it is a game, it's a competition between who is survival of the fittest, I guess you would say. And so as the story progresses, it basically is a game of the last one standing is the winner, is the victor of this bet. And so they don't really know the rules. They didn't really know who their opponent was. Obviously, as the book went on, they started to learn more and more about who they worked out who their opponent was and all the rest of it. But here's the kicker: they fell in love. So basically they start to love one another and all the rest of it. So then the game sort of becomes, how are they going to survive this? Because they, how are they going to get out of this game? Because the game can't end until there is a victor. So basically then it goes on about how they're going to get out of it and all the rest of it. But what I really liked about this book is that there was a really good balance with the secondary characters in the book, that the author made them go from a secondary character to in the limelight, and they had a story and you were interested in what they were doing. You wanted to see what the outcome was and all that sort of stuff. So for me, the book actually had two stories going. Yes, there was the main characters, Acelia and Marco, but then there was the story of Poppet and Bailey and Widget. Poppet and Widget were actually twins, and Bailey was just a regular folk. He came to the circus and he met Poppet, or he was admiring Poppet from afar and all that sort of stuff. And then there's his whole story, and for me, that story became just as equally as important as the story of Marco and Celia. And the story just went on twists and turns, and then you've got all these other things happening in the book, which I don't want to say too much because it is a bit of a spoiler. It's a pretty easy read too. Like, I found it really easy to read, even though right at the beginning I felt like that I had missed something. I can assure you, by the time I got to the end of the book, I hadn't missed anything. It was all there. It was just, that's how I felt the author wanted me to perceive the book. She done an amazing job of tying it all together, finishing the book off, bringing all the characters to their closing points and all that sort of stuff. I was a little bit shocked at some of the twists that took, like some of the plot lines that took. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that sort of coming and whatnot. And another thing that I really liked about this book is I love a book that starts with a line and ends with the same line. Have you ever read a book like that? If you have, leave me a comment down below in the comments and let me know what book it was, because I do love a book like that where it's the first line is the last line in the book. And I'm not going to tell you what that line is, because then that's just going to be very disappointing for you. I am very interested to read, I believe she's got a couple of other books out. I'll be very interested to read her books, but I will have to put them onto my 2022 TBR. I'm excited to tell you too that this book was book number 98. I thought it was 99, but when I went and had a look in my Goodreads this morning to see where I was up to so I could let you all know, and that it said that I had read 99 books, and I'm like, after I marked this one off, and I'm like, okay, cool, no worries, I'll go and have a look. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure that I didn't read 99. Somehow the Dictionary of Lost Words got marked off twice, so it registered it twice. So I took that off, and so this book is actually book 98, and my next book, book 99, I'm currently reading, which is a Virgin River one. So as of today, we have 18 days left of the month, so it's going to be super exciting to see where I end up in the total number of books. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to get to around 105, maybe 107, if I can really push it, because I'm starting to wind down. I'm finishing off all the orders and everything. I might be able to get to 110. That'd be awesome if I could get to 110. But I don't want to push myself either. I set my goal of 100, and I have found that I've slowed down in the last couple of weeks, only because I've had plenty of orders that I've had to do to get out the door and all the rest of it in time for Christmas. After I finished this video, I've got a whip off down to the post office and get some more stuff out. I'm going to send anything in normal regular mail. I'll send that by priority. And today you would notice as well that I'm not doing a stitch with me. I decided to make some Christmas cards instead, and I thought I'd just show you the process of that. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching that as I've been chatting along. I'm new to card making, so this is very, very new for me, and very, very basic, but I think they turned out really, really well, and I just love how that I'm able to make something for my friends and family and stuff like that. And I'm going to make a cute little one for Mia as well. I'm going to find some other Christmas cards, old Christmas cards that I've got here that I can cut up and use that and do a little bit of recycling and all the rest of it. But anyway, I digress. Back to the book. The book is I would say it is brilliantly written. It is essentially a love story, and it's got magic in it, and at the end of the day, I love that sort of book. So of course I was going to give it 4 stars. All right, but that is it from me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching me make the cards while I've been prattling on about this book. Not a super long video today, but still, nonetheless, we've got our Advent opening, and we're moving through that. And I'm looking forward to next year. I found a couple on Etsy that'll be a little bit different. I don't know whether I'm going to go with a mystery one again, but you never know. The mood might take me during the year, and I might find myself a mystery one and go from there. But thank you so much again for joining me throughout Vlogmas. We've still got quite a ways to go. We're on the 14th of December, so we've still got 10 days to go of Vlogmas. So join me again tomorrow. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Were you working on something? Have you made cards before, or have you read this book? Let me know in the comments below. I always like to have a bit of a chat with everybody. And as always, if you are new here or you have yet to subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you won't miss out on any future posts, especially for Vlogmas, considering I post every day. I just want to wish everybody a wonderful day. Happy crafting, sewing or stitching or whatever you may be doing or reading. And I will see you all again tomorrow for another... tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Oh, it's a sewing tutorial tomorrow. So I will see you for a sewing tutorial tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.